today, marking exactly 8 years since the Lily mine tragedy occurred. 3 mine workers, Pretty Nkambule, Yvonne Mnisi and Solomon Nyirenda, were buried underground when the mine collapsed on this day back in February of 2016. Since then, their remains have not been retrieved from the belly of the mine. Newzroom Afrika's Mweli Masilela is following that story for us, and he joins us live. Mweli, good morning to you. So the man who is leading these commemorations, we saw him a little earlier addressing Herman Mashaba. What's he had to say?
When we take interviews,
there's quite a number of points that the president of Action SA, Herman Mashaba, touched on, but the main thing, is the issue of government actually failing the families of the 3 mine workers, according to Mashaba, and he believes that already they've tried everything as Action SA to ensure that there's justice in as far as this matter is concerned. He even mentioned that already they've spent a lot of money in ensuring that those who are actually responsible for the death of the 3 mine workers are held accountable. In fact, he's saying this is a case of murder because the mine management was warned about the gaps or the issues that needed to be attended to here at Lily Mine. But let me just bring him in to hear from him. Mr. Mashaba, thank you very much for talking to us again. You are saying you are now leaving everything in the hands of God. Why?
Well, because our government is aware of 3 court orders which I ignored. The last one being the Bombela, the magistrate court in October for criminal charges being brought towards those responsible for this tragedy. Mine management, because they were warned 2 years before the collapse of this container. And BRP, because you remember after the collapse of the container, this mine was put under business rescue. And on 3 occasions, different courts making the determination, asking the business rescue practitioners to take this matter to of Lily Mine to the shareholders, so that the shareholders can decide if there's anyone wanting to buy this mine. And as you are aware, there is a company that has expressed interest in buying this mine, but because the BRP, they are in cahoots, they are in complicit with the mine management and our government, they are refusing to really comply with these court orders. So it's a national prosecuting authority, the police, the DMRE, mine management, they are literally refusing to really comply. But we leave in this matter to God, but at the same time, not only to God, because what God says, He can give you the wisdom. We are doing our way, lawyers are working around the clock. You will see some of the developments which we will announce in few days' time on the next steps that we are going to take. Because unfortunately we don't have the courts, we don't have the prosecuting mandate to actually prosecute those people. But our legal people will be announcing the steps that we are going to really follow. But what is obviously very important, and I said to the audience right now that I'm actually quite really proud of myself for being involved in politics, because you can imagine if there was no political intervention on this Lily Mine matter, this matter would have died. Because remember, in 2016, the government of the Republic of South Africa lied to this family that the container cannot really be retrieved. It took my efforts and our legal teams to expose their lies, their deceit. Eventually, they accepted that. So, yes, without any doubt, we'll find a solution. And I hope, and I said to the family, I hope sometime this year, whether it's going to take weeks or months, I hope that we are not going to have the 9th anniversary. We must have the 9th, on the 9th year, February 2025, I hope it can be the day when we can actually be unveiling the tombstones of the 3 family members who perished on the 5th of February 2016.
Mr. Mashaba, if you don't mind, I would really appreciate if you can share a bit as to what step are you going to take now? Because if it's not the courts, what else?
Well, unfortunately, as I said to you, the legal steps we will announce during the week. I spoke for a long time yesterday with our senior counsel on this matter and really not really share it on this platform, but at the same time ask us to exert as much political pressure as possible, because we are dealing with criminals themselves who are prepared to cover up this matter. As far as they are concerned, they would actually wish that Lily Mine matter did not exist in the minds of South Africans. So that is why I'm proud to be a politician, to ensure that South Africans are woken up to their reality, that their government doesn't care about them. It cares about people outside our country. Their interest is the international community, not us as South Africans. We live in a country where 80 people are being murdered every single day, reported cases. So the 3 family members, Yvonne, Pretty and Solomon, as far as this government is concerned, they don't really matter. When 80 people are being murdered every single day, but I want South Africans to know that Herman Mashaba is concerned and cares. Action SA members throughout the country, they care. And if they don't care to others, to us they care, and we are going to ensure that ultimately that container is retrieved.
And then lastly, Mr. Mashaba, we spoke to one of the relatives of the trapped mine workers, actually Sifiso Mavuso, the brother to Pretty Nkambule. He's saying that as much as there was that inquest declaring that these people have indeed died, he still does have hope that they are alive. I'm wondering if there is some work you are doing as the leader of Action SA to ensure that maybe there is professional counseling, because it's seemingly some of these family members are not willing to accept yet that their loved ones are gone.
Well, I think, it's one of the challenges. It's one of the most dreadful things I have to face on a regular basis when I come here, where the families, they still have hope that the people are no more. But how do you tell them they are not? Even the courts have obviously declared that there's no way that those people are no more. But it's really very difficult. We consult with them on a regular basis. But at the end of the day, it's very difficult. Just look at their living conditions, Mr. Masilela. From the day when I came here the first time in 2020, I actually said to the families, is there any way you can be home? I promise you, I'll do everything possible that this matter is not forgotten. Look at the conditions. You remember what happened, was it in 2020, 2021, when they unleashed criminals to come and bend the structures, trying to get them to really move away from this. But the family is determined not to really move out from this side. And this is a huge challenge for anyone who's got a conscience, who's still got some values. And I understand, I cannot share their pain. The pain must be deeper. And I keep saying to myself, Herman, are you really doing enough to ensure that you can see justice for these families? And that's why, remember, we started our discussion, let's leave it to God to give us the wisdom.